Select the pen tool, click and hold, and choose the very first one out of the selections. You can zoom in and out by pressing and holding the space bar and the command button to zoom in and out. To move your screen around, press and hold the space bar. Now I have the pen tool selected. I will click all the way around the whole entire object. On a curved area like this, you can click and hold, and then it'll allow you to drag out the handle and follow that curve. Once you've done that, if you press the Option key and click on that last point that you made with your pen, it'll allow you to go back to normal clicking. Use the space bar, click and hold to drag your picture around. You may find it easier just to click one click and go all the way around your whole entire object. If you hit the Shift key, it'll allow you to draw a perfectly straight line. If you, in this area, I put the pin dot a little bit too far in, you can hit the, let's see, you can hit the Command key, and then you can drag, click and hold the command, and then you can drag that to where you actually really wanted it if you need to move something around. And I had the curved line. I don't want that any longer, so if I hit the Control button and then click on that dot, oops, actually, my bad, if you hit the Option key and click on the last point, it'll get rid of that and make it normal again. If this area right here would have been closed off, but I have a space in here, it's not actually closed off. If it would have been closed off, you would save that area to do your clipping last after you've gone around the whole entire perimeter of the hand. Command Z will undo, like I hit this right there too straight. I can hit Command Z and it'll undo. Another way to undo is here in your history palette. Right here, it will bring that history palette in and out. If your history palette is not showing, you can go up into Window and History, and it'll make this palette available to you. When you have this history palette, you can select any, you can drag all the way up to the beginning, and it will take you to where you open your image originally. And if you did not intend to go that far, you can scroll back down, and it'll take you right to where you left off. When you're using the history palette, you have to click directly on the area, on the words where you want to step back. You see how it's stepping back. And then I'm coming to the end, or actually the beginning where I started. And when I hover over it, it has the little circle next to the pen. You can see that tells me, or tells Photoshop, that I've completed the path. So now I've totally drawn all the way around my whole entire hand. And I need to go down on to my tool palette and click and hold um, the little arrow tool, and I want to choose the path selection tool. If, for example, this would have not been, if this would have been closed off, if these fingers would have had a different, I guess I could have gotten that a little bit closer, but for the sake of the video, if, for example, you would like to move these and get it more accurate around that finger, you would use the direct selection tool, and that'll allow you to click on one point and move that point around to get it a little closer there to the edge. So I could just bring those out, just drag those out a little bit closer. Okay, so now we need to go back to the path selection tool. If I would have had to have this as a different path, because they would have been overlapping and I had to create two paths, you would click this one that goes around the perimeter of the hand, and then you'd hit shift, and that will allow you to select multiple paths. And once you've selected all your paths that you need to outline, you will click and hold on your keyboard the control button, and then click on the edge, just like an edge area right here on the path, anywhere on an edge, and hit make selection. And you want it to be 0.9 pixels for your feather radius, anti-aliased, and new selection, and then hit OK. And then you should have these little dancing ants going all the way around everything. And then you'll hit Command C for copy, Command V for paste. And then down on your layer palette, you should have now two different layers, the original background layer and then the new layer that you've cut out. And if you turn off your background layer, you'll see that you have everything cut out. And you can tell that I have some edges that kind of I didn't get close enough to the hand. So you could fix that by first off making sure you're clicked on the proper layer that you're working on, and we're working on the clipped out hand layer. And we want the eraser tool. So on your keyboard, you could either hit E for eraser, or you can go over on your tool palette, and here's your eraser tool. And we want the first one, that's just the eraser tool. And you can adjust the size of your eraser brush. On your keyboard, it's the bracket key right next to the letter P. It'll allow you to, the opening and closing brackets, the ones right next to each other, will allow your brush size to get larger or smaller. And then you can just go in and start to erase that area. And make sure that up in the top menu bar that your opacity is at 100. It doesn't have to be 100, but here I want it to completely get rid of these lines that I have, this edge right here.